Hey guys, it's Coach Muhammad. I hope you guys are doing good. So we're going to go over two things today, two things that I need you guys to focus on. You have to understand this. I'm going to ask you about it before the next game or else you're not going to play. So you have to understand this. We're going over the offense and defense. Remember, offense is when we have the basketball. Defense is when we're trying to stop them from scoring. So on offense, we should always be moving. Always moving. There's no time on offense where we should be standing still, just standing there watching the basketball. On defense, we do stand in a zone, right? That is stuff we've talked about a million times, but I know sometimes I see in our games, people are just standing there on offense, not trying to get open, just watching, just maybe trying to box someone out. So we're going to discuss everything that we need to understand right here. I need you guys to focus. So first thing they're going to go over is kind of a give and go. We talked about that. You're going to see how once the player passes the ball, they're going to cut. What is a cut? A cut is you cutting something, right? With the scissor, you're cutting, but you're cutting to the basket. That's why it's called a cut. You're going straight to the basket. So we're going to watch a bunch of players cut right now, and we're going to try to understand it. So the first player passes, and he cuts to the basket after he gives it up. This guy is going to notice that the defender is looking at the ball, so he's going to cut behind him, and his teammate sees him. Watch how every time they're going to notice their defender isn't paying attention, they're going to cut behind them. That is something very important we need to understand, is moving without the basketball. The defense isn't paying attention, we run to the basket. Our teammates should be looking for us. You see, every time they get a good shot, they get an open shot because they're running without the basketball, trying to go to the hoop. They're not running away, they're running to the hoop. Now, this is very important right here. If you guys paid attention, this one was a little bit different. This guy cut once his teammate cut. He cut with him, but on the opposite side. He didn't cut next to him. He didn't cut behind him. He cut on the opposite side. So when the defense runs to the player with the ball, you see they're all running to him. He's coming from the side, and his teammate could give him the ball, and he's wide open. We're going to see the same thing happen here. He cuts because his teammate cut, and now he's open. So that's something we have to work on. We have to move without the ball. See, again, once again, it's the same thing. We're just cutting when the player is cutting with us so we can get open, so our teammate can find us. You see right there? It's beautiful stuff. Obviously, we're not going to dunk it, but we should still move without the ball so we can get ourselves open. No matter what, if we're moving, it's making it harder for the defense. They don't know what's happening. And then if we're willing to pass the ball, it's going to get our teammates easier shots. And that way they can score. And that means we all score, right? If you pass the ball, guess what? Next time they're going to think you're passing. Next time they're going to be not worried about you. And now next time you get a shot. Look how many people are around him. He's not going to panic. He's not going to get stuck. He's not going to try to run with the ball or over dribble. He's going to wait. His teammate is coming. You see him right there. He's going to cut for him, and he's going to be smart and aware to make the fast pass and not get stuck in traffic. So his teammate cuts, he gives him the ball, and he's wide open. Now we're going to be talking about, this is on the fast break. I know this is a lot of things, but I need you guys to focus. When I point something out, we need to focus. A fast break is when we're running, we're on the break, and we're going fast, and we're trying to get the basket to score. This is still on offense, right? We just got to steal, or we just got a rebound. You're going to see how we're going to run it together. We went over this in practice before, but I need everyone focused right here. So you see this player is running as soon as his team gets the rebound, right? He's running, and he gets an easy shot. Why? Because his teammate looks for him, right? They're getting the rebound. They saw that one of them already ran, and they're getting him the ball. Now, when you're doing it, should only one person be running? No, you need multiple people to run sometimes. Because right here, you're going to see he's running, and then the defender is there, so he passes it to his teammate who's running with him. The same thing we explained before, where you're not running behind him, you're not running next to him, you're running to the side. That way he can give you a good pass. That way the defense isn't ready. This will be the last one we look at. So this is a fast break. When we're running fast on a break, we're trying to score after a rebound, a steal, a block. So you see here, this guy is running. He already knows. He looked up. He saw that his teammate is running with him. He trusts that he's running with him. So his job is to make sure the defense stays with him, and he gives him a good pass. You're going to see it right here. He's waiting, and he gives him a beautiful pass so he can score with no defense. Now we're going to be switching to the defensive side. All right, we went over the offense. Now we're going over defense. These teams are running a zone. They're going to do everything we talked about in our last practice so that they can make sure they rebound. In order for us to have a good defense, we need to get the rebound. We need to make sure they don't get another chance. So you guys are going to see when we did the box out drill before, right? We did the box out drill. It's very important to box out. How did we do it? We had to make sure we saw the person in front of us. We put our hand there and we turned around to make sure they're not in the play. So take a look right here. As soon as this shot goes up, right? As soon as they shoot, what does every single one of these players do? They don't look at the shot. They don't look at the hoop. They're looking at the player in front of them, right? Every single one of them is looking at the player in front of them, including number 13 who's under the basket. He's not looking at the hoop. He's looking at number 4 in purple, making sure he sees him. Why? Because he has to make sure he's boxing him out. So we're going to see right here, after that play, after the shot goes up, they're all boxing out and they're able to get the rebound. If he wasn't boxing out, right, you're going to see here, same thing. We're looking at it. Every single player is looking. Even number 43, you're probably wondering, he's under the basket. Why isn't he looking at the hoop so he can get the rebound, right? We talked about this. You have to know where the other team is. So his first job is to know where the other team is. Then he's going to turn around and look at the hoop, all right? That's his job. His job is to make sure he can box out. So you see here, he waits, he boxes out, they get the ball. So let's watch one more team do it. You see everyone is looking at their players and they get the rebound because they do it successful. Now, this is a team that's going to do it wrong. What are they doing wrong? Look, none of them are boxing out. None of them know where the other team is. Only one person's boxing out, number 0. But his other teammates, they're all looking for the hoop. They're looking for the ball. Watch what happens now. They're all looking at the hoop. So this guy, he's just going to come through and he's going to get the rebound. Why? Because no one boxed him out. Same thing right here. Look at all of them. They think they're in good position. They're looking at the hoop. Even if they were all boxing out, they would be boxing out the air because they never saw who the other team is, where they are. So now look at the other guy. He's going to come in and he's always going to get the rebound. If you don't know where the other team is, they have a good chance of getting the ball. So I hope you guys all saw the difference of when you know where the other player is, all right? When you're going to box out, how important it is to know where the other team is. Otherwise, you're never going to have a successful box out. You're going to be letting your teammates down. Now, that's pretty much all we're covering, but we're going to learn something brand new right here with the boxing out. So I've said it before, boxing out doesn't mean you always have to get the rebound. You're trying to make sure that your teammates can get the rebound. You're trying to take out your person, the person closest to you, whoever it is, right? It can be Dean, it could be Ayub, it could be Henna, it could be any one of us, right? It doesn't matter who it is. If you see someone there, you box them out. And the reason is because it makes it easier for your teammates. So you see here, only one person is in the paint trying to get the rebound. So this guy's going to box him out. He's not going to get the rebound, but his teammate is, which is successful, right? That's very successful. So that was the first play of the game. This is the same two teams. Watch how number 15 learns that one person's been boxing him out. So now he's going to understand what they're doing and he's going to adjust. He's going to be like, oh, if you're not all going to box me out, I'm going to get the rebound. He's going to fight and he's going to get the rebound. That's why we have to box out as a team. We always help each other out. You're going to see here, this is what I really want us to understand too. Boxing out doesn't mean that you're just like hugging someone, you're just pushing them back, you're not dancing with the person. It's making sure they have no chance to get the ball. So this is a perfect box out by these two players. The team in the red is going to box out the team in the white. And they're going to do it by pushing them out of bounds in a way. So watch them right here. They're going to shove them that way to make sure someone on their team can come and help them get the rebound. And that is a successful box out. So we went over 3 things that I need you guys to focus on. Number 1 is cutting on offense. That means when you should be going towards the basket and your teammates should be looking up to see you. So there's multiple times we should be cutting. We should be cutting when the other team is not looking at us, right? If the other team's not focused on us, that's why I told you guys, whoever is my small forward, power forward, should be running the baseline in the back. So that way the other team's not knowing where you are. You're trying to move around on offense so you could get open. Another reason we cut is not just for that. It's for if someone on our team shoots and they miss, when we cut, we can get in good position to box out, right? That's the other thing we talked about, boxing out. It's very important. And the most important thing is to know where the other person is so we could have a successful box out. Otherwise, we're not going to be successful when we box out at all. So please just focus on those things. We learned about the fast break. You should know what a fast break is, right? You should know how to run a fast break with 2 players. We just discussed it. We talked about it in practice a bunch. So one person's running, the other person's coming, not behind them, not next to them. You're not close. You're making it easy for the defense. One person can defend both of you. You got to come from the side. You're cutting with them. You're going at an angle. That way they can make you a good pass. I hope that was all very easy and explainable. I'll see you guys on Saturday, and enjoy the rest of your day.